Step 3 in the practice of non-suffering is couples therapy for the conscious mind and the body. The relationship one has with oneself is the most important relationship one will ever have, and when there is conflict between the conscious mind and the body, one causes suffering for oneself and probably others one interacts with. Step 3 in the practice of non-suffering is to teach the conscious mind to listen to and respect the body. Stress, pain, anxiety, craving, and suffering are not a part of the human experience just to inconvenience the conscious mind. These evolutionary processes of life are there for the purpose of directing us towards comfort and safety. It is not wise to ignore them, downplay them, or mask them with chemicals because the conscious mind thinks they are annoying. Step 1 dealt with becoming aware of and appreciating comfort. Comfort being a byproduct of optimization, and comfort being the easiest and best method to reduce suffering in the human experience. Step 2 dealt with not overvaluing the conscious mind and not taking the body for granted. When the conscious mind ignores what the body is experiencing, downplays the body's experience, or masks the stress, craving, anxiety, pain, and suffering that the body is experiencing just because they are inconvenient for the conscious mind is not respecting and listening to what the body is communicating. The conscious mind is sabotaging the body, and thus the conscious mind is self-sabotaging and is causing suffering for itself, the body, that is the foundation of the conscious mind, and everything in the world the conscious mind interacts with. The conscious mind seems to think that it can boss the body around, and once the command is given, and the body dutifully follows the command from its quote-unquote master, the conscious mind can go about amusing itself with thinking, telling stories, singing, or daydreaming without a care in the world, as if the conscious mind is not dependent on the body performing whatever task is at hand safely, while the conscious mind is not paying attention to the body and is distracted and not participating in the action being performed. A headache is not there to ruin the plans of the conscious mind. A headache is the body telling the conscious mind something is wrong. If the conscious mind was listening, the conscious mind would ask, what is the matter and what can be done to correct the problem? This would stop the damage and suffering. But when the conscious mind instead asks, what can be taken to silence the body and mask the headache, the conscious mind only prolongs the suffering and could possibly be doing even more damage to the body and itself. If one falls and sprains one's knee, the pain and swelling are there to impede one's movements, to allow the body time to heal. When a pain suppressant and anti-inflammatory pill are taken, or a cortisone or steroidal shot is administered because the conscious mind wants to continue with what it wants, this is all to the detriment of the body. Continued use of the sprained knee by the masking of the pain and swelling will not allow the body to heal and repair the damaged knee and will only do more damage to the knee, shortening the longevity of the knee and the rest of the body, due to the body compensating for the damaged knee. The pain and swelling were the natural processes the body goes through to facilitate healing and repair. If the conscious mind does not listen to or respect the body, because the conscious mind wants and needs, the conscious mind is causing some suffering, plain and simple. This is not to say that painkiller and anti-inflammatory medications do not have a purpose in the treatment of injuries and illnesses of the body. This is pointing out that awareness and a deep understanding of how and when these medications are to be used in the proper manner is very important. The conscious mind often wants and needs at the cost of the body's health and thus its own health as well. When the conscious mind wants to continue through the pain, maybe due to pride or wanting more, the body pays the price. The conscious mind wants the addictive substance, whether that is alcohol or sugar. The organs of the body pays the price. The alcohol damages the liver, the sugar damages the pancreas and the brain, while the whole body is damaged and suffers. When the conscious mind wants and needs and the body protests, if the conscious mind does not listen to or respect the body's attempts to communicate this to the conscious mind, suffering is guaranteed. It does not have to be that way. If the conscious mind listens to and respects the body, self-inflicted suffering is reduced, if not totally avoided. So, how does one go about teaching the conscious mind the skills to respect the body and start listening? It is very simple, but not easy. Stop ignoring or masking the stress, cravings, anxiety, pain, and yes, even suffering. These things all have an evolutionary purpose, and if one stops masking these necessary evolved processes with cortisone shots, anti-inflammatory pills, and painkillers, the body will have the time needed to heal and repair the damage. An understanding of the body and what it needs to repair and heal, and an understanding of the purpose of these evolutionary processes, which are directing us towards safety, also an understanding that the damage and suffering is perpetuated by ignoring or masking these natural processes, is part of the practice of non-suffering. Again, this is not to say that painkillers and anti-inflammatory medications do not have a purpose in the treatment of injuries and illnesses in the body. This is to point out that awareness and a deep understanding of how and when these medications are to be used in the proper manner is very important. These stress responses are all an essential part of the human experience. An understanding of their purpose is also an essential part of stopping much of the suffering that seems to be a large part of many people's story, unfortunately, and unnecessarily. Part 4 of the practice of non-suffering will be dealing with the stories we tell ourselves and their importance. Again, step 3 in the practice of non-suffering is couples therapy for the conscious mind and the body, getting one's conscious mind to listen to and respect the body. The body is not the slave of the conscious mind. The conscious mind is only a very small part of the mind. As stated in the iceberg analogy in step 2, the conscious mind is only a very, very small portion of the consciousness of the mind. The consciousness of the mind being an emergent property of the brain, and the brain being part of the actual physical body. I thank you very much for your time and indulgence. Please enjoy and be comfortable.